Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome back for today's lesson. I'm Mr. Stoltz. Same as always, we've got a Google form feedback at the end of the lesson. Africa Teen Geek is a YouTube channel. You can take a look around there for subjects. Snaplify, get some free ebooks. And then we've got the mahala.ms sign up for Office 365. And then all the education departments, it's got all the exam papers which you guys can work through if you want to do it. Okay, so let's go to the second one. Today's subject's going to be queries. We've done the basic queries, the basic bigger than, smaller than, or we've done that. So we're going to papers today, and I've looked for papers that's quite hard, the stuff that you can expect in the exam. So not all of them is going to be the easy ones. There's going to be formulas, how to add a formula into the query. And I think that's something a lot of students struggle with. So that's the hard part about the query on the database. So we're going to focus on that today. So hopefully by the end of this lessons, you guys would know how to create a new field, as well as multiply or subtract or work out the formula or something. Okay, so and as well, how to work with the total fields, the sum or the average or so on. Okay, so let's go to the next one. There's a class dojo scores around there, which we've been gathering the last few days. It's going well. We're always going into double figures there. And just to get some marks, you need to just chat in the chat around, ask questions, answer questions. That helps a lot as well. Tomorrow we're going back to the Kahoot. We're doing the true and false questions. Okay, so there's the past papers I've got from the education department on their site. So if you want to later work through some more through some past papers, you can go there and you'll get some. Okay, so I'm gonna drop it into chat now. Welcome, Safisu. Just great timing there. If you guys can see it, it will be almost on. And just download it. If you can't see it or can't download it, just let me know and then I'll drop it again. It's gone through there now. So you guys can just download it and you can get it. Yes, that's a subject that you need to work hard in. Lesedi, if you can work every single day, just by being here, you're already doing your part. So I'm going to start reading the question. Then we're going to start speaking about it. And then we will only move over to actually working into the access file. You can guys download it there for so long. If you can't see it, just let me know so I can drop it in again. Okay, so it says they open the query. So most of these are already made queries. There's only one or two I think that we need to do from scratch. And it gives you an example of this is the query. You need to modify it so it looks like that. Now, the first question there, query 5.3 or second question, you will see it has a header there. You won't normally get that header in a query. You'll just get the answers and the sum of the installments. And then we'll work a little bit on. I think we've got 7 questions. And so I'll jump over there. But firstly, let's read the question here. Open query 5.2. Just make sure that the spelling of the query is correct if we start working in the queries as well. And modify to display a list of all the kitchen cleaners and the kitchen waiters who have worked or who will be working for 5 or less days. So we want the people who's working for less than 5 days. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to the database file. Did everybody get it there? If you're struggling, please let me know so I can help you out there quickly. Okay, so first of all, we are looking for the people and we're working with this 5_2 query, the first one. If you double click on it, it will open. And just remember, yours might still have the yellow line. and you just need to say you will trust it. Let's try sending it privately there. I can't. Okay, so this is the query, query 5.2, and it's got 7 expressions there. They didn't really name it, they just left it there. And if I go to view and I click there, so it goes to design view. So it's view, and you should go to design view. And then sometimes they do this, they hide this, and you need to drag this up so you can see it. Okay, so they've got already there one that says they're cleaner, but we'll work on it because we need to change it. So if I go back to there, they'll only showing the cleaners. Okay, so they already done that for you. The second thing before we start, sometimes if you go there by all access objects, they are more than likely they do this and they say reports. So you open it and you think, oh, there's something wrong with the document. Okay, so you need to go to the drop down and always say the filter there, make sure it's all object types and just say the object type. Otherwise, it's a little bit hard to get. So always make sure it says object type and all access objects. So you'll get everything. Okay, so I've deleted the rest. I've only kept queries and tables so we can work with it. Okay, so back to the question. They asked there so we can have all the cleaners and kitchen waiters who will be working less than 5 days. Working for 5 or less days. Okay, so let's go there. If we go back to C, we are there. And this is the expression. Okay, so everybody there. So we're working with expression number 5 there. And we need to see all the kitchen cleaners. And so there we go there. So this is the expression there. So let's go back. So firstly, number of days, you can either say one of the following two. You can say less than 6 because we want to include 5. So everybody that's working 5 or 3 to 1 days or 0 days, or we can say less than or equal to 5. So we know if I go back 5 shows and everything less than 5. Okay, so that's the first thing. So less than 5. Okay, so the staff portfolio, it's cleaner. If I take this away, you will see there's other portfolios there as well. So all of these, they've got shopping and so on and so forth. But we are working in expression 4. So what we want, the category, staff category, and here's it, kitchen, and there's kitchen there again. So we need to make sure that you're a waiter or a cleaner. And if I move away and I go back to view, it shows there nothing. Okay, so there's the category there. And if I go out and I go to expression number 3, it, why does it do that now? Let's just quickly go back there and say, oh, there's it. So it's in 6. So you will need to be a cleaner in number 6. Okay, because there's no cleaners on this side. So all the cleaners and the waiters, we need to work with expression number 6. Okay, so normally this would have a name. So if you're a cleaner or a waiter in expression number 6 and you are working 5 or less days, it will show now. So there's the waiters and the cleaners, and that's why they've left the cleaner there. Okay, so they've left the cleaner there, and you can do this 2 ways. We spoke about it. You can say cleaner, or you can type in waiter, or you can do this by saying 5 or less days a cleaner, or you can go and say 5 or less or equal to 5, and you are a waiter. So both of these ways are correctly. You can either add it in one single criteria by typing in or, Or the other option is you can use the built-in OR function and just do it underneath each other. So if I go back there, it's still going to give the same answer. Okay, the only time you really need to split this, if they ask for all the cleaners that's working 5 or less days and the waiters working 6 or less days, then you will need to do the built-in OR, because then you can't put it in one line. Okay, so either 2 lines or by combining it by saying cleaner or waiter. Okay, so there's cleaners and waiters. Everybody's working 5 or less days, and you've got your answer there. Okay, so let's go back to the questions. Okay, this following question says, open query 5.4, query and modify the query as follows. So insert a calculated field. So there we're starting with the calculated fields. Called discount that would display the installment amount after 10% discount has been deducted. So it wants the amount after 10% has been deducted. Okay, so if I can jump back there. Oh, so I missed one, sorry. So I missed 5.3 there. So let's go firstly 5.3. The query appears to show the example below. So they want all the DSTV packages, DSTV1 to DSTV4. So that's the different packages and the sum of the installments. So if we jump back to the database, you can see, and you open query 5.3. So I'm closing this one. So query 5.3. You will see they've got packages, Netflix, Showmax, DSTV. Okay, so they've got all those DSTV packages and they've got the installments. Okay, so you're going to go to design view, and this is where we're going to start working with the total fields. Okay, so the total fields is on the design, and it shows this E that represents totals. Because if you click on it, it's going to jump in and say total and group by. So you see the total is not there. And so you're not going to say there by installments, go and say criteria is equal sum and do something like this. You're just going to go, let's go to design, totals, total, group by, and then you say sum. So if I jump back and I go to design, you'll see it shows DSTV, Netflix, Showmax, and now it's only one singular of each, but they have summed all the totals for every single package. Okay, so that's the first step. So the first step is go to totals, add the total, and change it to sum. Okay, so now we need to work on the type of package, and now you can add your criteria. Okay, so now to add your criteria, you're going to say DSTV. But if I go back now, it's not going to show anything. Okay, so we've got DSTV1 to DSTV4. So you can either go and say DSTV1, DSTV2, DSTV3. So now the DSTV1 shows, or you can remember we showed the asterisks, and you can just say DSTV. I don't care about the number because I want all the DSTVs. Go back and you can see DSTV1 all the way to DSTV4. Okay, so after you've done something, always check if it is what you're looking for. If, for instance, DSTV5 showed here and they didn't want the DSTV5, you would have had to go and say DSTV, 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 and name the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but this time, we've only got DSTV 1 to 4, so this volume here, which includes anything, would work. Okay, so there's DSTV 1 all the way to DSTV 4. Okay, so there's question 5.3, and that's an easy 4 marks there. Okay, so let's jump back to the questions, and now we only at query 5.4 for 5.4. Okay, so query 5.4 says modified, and now we're doing the calculated field. Okay, so we're gonna wait for a little, wait a little time on this calculated field because it's important. And normally, for some reason, guys struggle to answer it. So query 5.3, and it's 5.4. Sorry, I don't know what's going on today. Query 5.4. So we've got names and surnames here. We've got contact numbers and we've got installments. And so we need to work out the person's installment after 10% discount has been deducted. Okay, so, and we need to add a new field. So you can't go and just add a field and say called a discount. Okay, so we go to design view and we need to type in discount. Okay, so if I move this away and I go back to view, it's going to ask for a parameter discount. So as soon as this parameter value jumps up, it means you've done something wrong, and normally it's going to be by the expression. Okay, you see this hard brackets that's made here shows the database look for the cell or the field name discount. So it's going to look for discount and it won't see it. If I name or change this discount to name, which is there, and I go back to the design datasheet view, it's going to show the name, Glenn. So it refers back to the name. Okay, so for us now, we need to create a new one. So we're still going to type in the discount. Okay, so typing in discount was correctly, but we need to do the double point. Good. So now we're naming the cell. If I jump back now, it's going to say the expression edit contains invalid syntax. That's fine. But if I say okay, it means I don't know. I know the name is discount, but I don't know what syntax I must use. What's my operating value? To what must I work with? So this is where you're going to add your formula. Okay, so it wants 10% less of the installment. So for that, I've just said we do the hot brackets for the naming. So we need to name it installment. So then we type installment. And we close the bracket. Okay, so now we've got installment. You've seen it's picked it up. And if I go back now, it's going to name it discount, and it's going to give the installment amount, which would have been in the installment amount. Okay, so we've got that. So discount, we've named it correctly, and that's how you name it. Whatever you want, and do the double point there. In hard brackets, installment, because we want to work with installment. Times, and we can go there 10%. Okay, so we've done the installment times 10%. And okay, it doesn't know what to do with it because it doesn't count the 10%. So you need to say times 0.1, depending on your device. If I go back, it's going to say, okay, something is wrong. We don't do dots. We do with the comma. So it's comma 1, 0.1 times installment. And now it gives you the 10% of the installment amount. Okay, so now we know we're heading on the right direction, but it said it wants the new amount after discount has been deducted. Okay, so what that means is we've only worked out what's 10% of installment. We need to take that and minus it from installment. So in that case, you're going to go open the bracket, installment, minus, and then you can just do that for safekeeping, just to keep it academically or mathematically correct. It says installment minus the 10% from installment. Okay, we all know it's going to do that first because it's working with, but sometimes it doesn't work with the BOTMAS effect. So we need to type it in with the brackets. So just to make sure 100% that we can't make a mistake. So it's installment, the full amount, minus 10% of installment, go back to view, and we've got this correctly. So now we've got the name discount, and we've got the new answer. Okay, and that question is seven marks. Okay, so there we've got this. Then if I go back to the question, it says something in the last sentence, what we still need to apply. Okay, so by jumping back there, it says, so open it, we calculate 10% from discount, we've named the discount, we've calculated 10% of the installment, so that's correctly. The last thing is note, discount should only be calculated for subscribers whose name contains only 4 characters. Okay, so is there anyone in chat that can remember how do we count characters? It's a formula we use, and all the formulas in Excel, or most of the formulas in Excel, will work as well in database. Can everybody remember the formula? Yes, well done, Anita. That's it, Carl and Liseri. Well done, all of you 3. It is Len. Okay, so it works with the surname. So whose surname is only length is 4. Okay, so for the last part, to make it 7 marks, you need to go to surname. Your criteria would be by surname equals len. Open your bracket. Now you need to add your string. So now you can't say A1 or A2. You need to type in where we want the criteria. So that would be brackets, and you type in surname, and you can just start it and double click here, and it will do the same, and you can close the bracket. So equals len, surname is 4, and we've got an installment value. So if I jump back, yeah, we never said the equal mustn't be, it must be len surname equals 4. So that's all that jumps around. Okay, so we need to say len, the length of surname must be equal 4. Okay, so in Excel, the equals comes in the front. When you go to database, you need to say the length of surname needs to be 4, equal to 4. If I go back now, there's the surname, everybody's got 4, and here's your discount, and there's your full 7 marks. So remember just to say length of the surname or length of the cell, and equal to how many characters we need, and that is 4 in this case. Okay, so there's 3 marks here, and you get your 4 marks here, one for discount, installment, and times 0.1, and the other 3 marks for len, surname, and 4. And once again, if you're somebody that struggles with formulas or something, start your formula. You know it is installment times 10% or times 0.1. Whatever you do and you leave it there, you would get some of the marks most of the time. Okay, so you won't get the full 7. You might get 1 for len and equals 4. Even if it doesn't work normally, if you just leave it len equals 4, because you know len and you know 4, we go to mark. Okay, we'll see, okay, 1 mark for len, 1 mark for 4, depending on how the paper was put together. Okay, so just remember, you won't always get all your marks. Normally just some of them, but at least you're getting something. Okay, and at least we know when we do afterwards, we work with it again, we need just to say, okay, so you know the len, just need to learn where to do the surname. So at least we know you're somewhere and you're doing something. Okay, so that's the first 3 questions. So the first one was a normal, a less than 5. The second question, we moved over to the sum, working with sum and average inside of the query. And then the third one, we've learned how to create a new field with a query working inside the cells. Okay, so there's the first three. And it becomes quite apparent if we go on, they like doing formulas inside of the queries because that's a higher order question for queries. Okay, so the next one, we're going to query number 5.3. And it says we're working on the table info, display the name, surname, and hotel. So this time we need to display stuff. And all the visitors from Austria and India are staying in. Sort the data in ascending order, ascending to surnames. Okay, so sort the data ascending order according to their surnames. And that's 4 marks. So start with one line, tick it off, go to the next line, tick it off, go to the next line, and tick it off. Okay, so open query 5.3. I'm going to close this one. Query 5.3. Just want to check there. This one is. Didn't I add this one? For some reason I didn't add this one. Okay, we'll just do it on another query, just so we can get what we're supposed to do. Okay, so we need to create it. Yes, there's it. We need to create it on the table info. So click on table info. And now we need to create from scratch. So you click on create and we go to the query. And remember, query design is okay if you know how to work with it. But if you work with a query wizard, you click on table info, click on query wizard, and you've got the first thing. Okay, and after that, simple query, you say okay. And now it asks specifically. They want to display the name, the surname, and hotel must be displayed. But if you read the question, they want visitors from Austria and India. So you need to add the country as well. Okay, but I'm not going to add it now, but you can add it. I'm going to show you if you forgot how to add it, where you can just add it later. Okay, say next, and they want you to save it as query 5.3. So just say QRY5 underscore 3 and just call it A because we've got another one called 5.3. And you can say the finish and it's going to show you. So it's going to show the surname, name, and a hotel. And now you need to go back to design view. Okay, now you've forgotten to add the country. It's easy. You just click here on the drop down and you can say country. Yeah, it doesn't matter. 5.3, 5.4. Okay, so there's it. You've got the name, surname, hotel, country, and now they're asking for display the name, surname, and hotel of all the visitors from Austria. So you can just go to country and type in Austria. So you've got Austria, and it says there, and India. So we can't say and India because people can't come from 2 countries. So if I go back there, it's going to show Austria, but you can't come from 2 countries. So in database, you're going to say or. Even if it says on the paper and, you need to remember Austria or India, or the other way is remember on the bottom Austria or India. So now if I go back to view, it shows all the people from Austria and India. Okay, so there's the first marks. You'll get marks for this displaying name, surname, and hotel. You'll get displaying Austria and India. So we need to, thirdly, go back to view and hide country, because it doesn't want country displayed. So now we've lost that. So now if I go back, you can get marks for this. You get the mark because the country is not displaying. And then lastly, for the final mark, it must be ascending order on surname. So you just click on surname, sort, and ascending. Okay, so these are the easier questions, the easier marks. For some reason, people forget to sort. So just make sure it's sorting, putting in Austria or India, and hiding the country because they only want the other three to display. So if I go back to view, you'll see name, surname, hotel. It's sorted according to surname, and it doesn't show the country. So there's the full 4 marks. And then the last question we've got for today is Open Query 5.5. Okay, so we're working query 5.5. Let's just quickly read the question here. Okay, so Open Query 5.5 based on the table info. And you can see it's based on table info on your query. And I'll show you where. And do the following. Insert a calculated field. So we're working with a calculated field again. With the total cost, which will calculate the total cost for each tourist. Okay, so every tourist. Each room costs 2,450 per night. And then you can save it as query 5.4. Okay, so they wanted to call it 5.4, but we can leave it as 5.5 for now. It's just they want to rename it. So you'll get a mark for saving it as something else as well. Okay, so always save it according to the paper. Even sometimes they make mistakes like this, or if they've intentionally done this, just make sure you save it according to the paper. Okay, so let's go back to the new share there. And on the share, you'll see, so I've opened query 5.5, and it says there, its name and the table, it's table info. So if I click on this, it shows it is made on table info. And if you create a new query now, all these tables will show. Okay, I've imported them, so they don't always show. Okay, so firstly, they want insert a calculated field, total cost. So you'll go to the new field, total cost, and you will put the double mark there. So it's total cost, which will calculate the total cost for each tourist. Okay, so then for every single person, each room costs 2,450 per night. Okay, so we need to say, and we need to go and see what they've renamed them. So room, there's nothing like that. So if you've started, you need to go jump out, and you can just check here where it says. So the hotel, and if I go back, and I see hotel table info, so table info, you will go there, and they've said, so for every single person, so we need to group them by their name, and we need to see times 2,450. So this one is quite easily. We just need to go by query 2.5. You can just name it. And we need to call the name total cost. And you can just say the 2450. Okay, so if I go back, it's going to say total cost for every single person is 24,450. So this is the easy one there. That gave you a mark for this. Okay, so I've got this, and then they say there, if you can read, if we go further, the field must be currency. So if I go back here, you can't really do anything about the currency here. Okay, so you need to go back, and it's saved there, total cost. And if I go out here and I open a table info, it's going to add it here. So you just can go back out there, you want to save it, table info, and you can add it here. So table info, you just say 2,450. You're not going to really work on a query on it, and it's going to answer there. Okay, so you've got query 5.5 total cost, and you've got it there 2,450. So we can go there, table, you can add a table there, and there's no sorting, and you're finished. You can go property sheet, and if you go to format, you can say currency. Okay, so it's total cost. You add the 2,450. The table, you can add it to table info if you want to. And by design, on the top, you go to property sheet. Okay, so if you're there, property sheet, and then you can just change it to currency. Okay, so if I go out of here, I've got this property sheet, source data, current, you just change it to currency. Okay, so it's not going to show. I need to tap it to show. And it shows it. Oh, I don't need this because it's not linked to a table. It's not going to show. Okay, so you've added currency and you've unlinked it from the table, because if it's linked to a table, it's not going to show. It's going to look for the total cost inside the currency, which is not there. Okay, so does everybody understand that? Or have I gone too many times there? So it's firstly add total cost. You add the default value of 2450, and you can just go there, say design, property sheet, and you add the format to currency. You don't link it to a table, and you can show it because we need it shown. Okay, so back to view, and you've got it. So this is normally a lower order question because it's not 2,450, it's just one value add, but it makes it a higher order question because of the fact that you need to change this to currency. Okay, so it's just property sheet, format, and you change it to currency. Okay, so that's the questions there for today. If I go back to new share, that's the 5 questions for today. Before I jump over to the new slide, I just want to quickly speak about it. First thing is, remember how to create a new field inside a query. So it's by name, double points, and then whatever you wanted, and make sure you work with the block if you want to add it to a name. So if you want to say it's blocked, like we've done in the previous question, the name, for example, surname, or currency, or money, or installment, or whatever you want to work with, and you block it with the correct brackets, and it will show up as a field. Because in Excel we can say A1, A2, A3. In database we can't say something like that. We need to block it by doing the block brackets. Okay, that's the first thing we've done today. Second thing is, remember where to get your totals. You go to the design view, and you just add design view, and you add your totals, and you group it by where you want it to go. So there's the sum, the average, the min, the max, the count, and the others we don't really use in CAT. We normally just use the sum, average, min, and max, and the count. So that's firstly, you can group it by there, by doing the totals. And if you go to the previous questions we've done, you will see where we've done. I always block one now. Okay, you can just do a name, whatever you want to call it. So field name, and you do the double marks there, and then you block whatever name you want to work with. So you add the cell, as in Excel, the cell, in this case, it will only be the field. And then you unblock it, and then it's going to look for the field you were working with. So as soon as you click somewhere else, it blocks it and it's going to look for fields. So if I go back to design view, the parameter error comes when it's not, the field is not recognized. So if maybe you've done a spelling mistake, or you've entered the wrong field name or something's wrong there, but that's when the parameter value jumps up, because you've named or given database the incorrect field and don't know what to work with. So that's the first thing. Normally my mistake comes there, and that's that for the database queries. Okay, so this was the higher order questions today, and I'm sure you guys will understand this, and next time you will get better marks. So just do step by step. If you do forget something, try and complete it as far as possible and leave it. Don't leave it blank, because we can always try and look for some marks if we need to. Okay, I've added these as well. If you want to take a photo of it and you want to work on your own, that gives something for you to do afterwards. And it's the exact same as we've done so far. So you're working with a between or like. So the next one, query 4.3, would be between 20 and 30. Query number 4.4, you can display the total numbers of money paid by athletes from Zimbabwe. So there's a good lower order, higher order question. So you're going to work with the totals there. And then it's got query 4.5. It's got where you need to receive money, and each athlete refunded 100 Rand and 10% of the registration. So you're going to work with a formula again. So those are the 3 questions that you can use for homework. And you'll see it's 2 5-pointers and a 3-pointer. And on Monday, I'll quickly show you the answers, what you could have done. And then we're going to work with the rest of the lesson on Monday with HLOOKUP. Okay, tomorrow we are moving to the true and false questions. So we're doing a Kahoot again on true and false. And then on Monday, we're going to start with HLOOKUP and a little bit of VLOOKUP, just to recap on the VLOOKUP. What's the difference between the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP as well? If you want anything else, anything that I need to do as well, please use this link I'm posting in chat. Give me some feedback. What do you want to work with? Otherwise, we'll complete working on access and database on Tuesday, and on Wednesday we'll do a little bit of theory again. Okay, so please help me out there with something you struggle, and then I'll know how to help you guys. Yeah, so that's all from me for today. So you guys can have a great day, and remember to stay safe and tell other people to come join us at 2 o'clock. And any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in the Google form as well. And I'll see to it that I can answer as much as possible. Okay, remember it's anonymous. I don't know who you guys are when you're speaking there. You don't put your name or anything in. Okay, so thanks a lot. I'm just going to quickly go back to the questions you can do for homework. So if you want to try it out, the 3 questions, but I'll remember to show you on Monday what the answers are. Okay, then I'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a nice day.